three matches, and it was mostly comfortable for all the big teams. We will talk about where these teams did well, where they did not. My name is Chinmay, along with Sallav. Welcome to Deep Point. So this is a space where we go beyond scorecards and talk about the stories and narratives that shape the game. And today we have a lot to unpack. So Sallav, can you take us through the day? What happened? Any standout performance? And there were few standout performances, and the blind spots are brief about that, and then we will deep dive into all these points.
So, two teams today have marched into the Super 8 without having a single loss. One is South Africa after comprehensively beating United Arab Emirates, and I think it was very much expected. They did not falter at all, and kind of it was much of a very comfortable victory for them. And Pakistan, they defeated Namibia. But there will be some questions with Pakistan's issue also when they will be entering Super 8. And of course, we have some serious concerns with India, which we are going to unpack. So I think today's performers of the day, if I just in a nutshell, if I just list down a few of them, one of them must be Sahibzada Farhan, who scored a brilliant 100 against Namibia today. It's the third 100. And this is the first time in a T20 World Cup we are having 300. So yeah, so that's a huge thing that has happened today. And three back-to-back days, three back-to-back hundreds we have got. So after Pratham Nisanka, Yuvraj Samra, Sahibzada Varan is the third century. And other than him, I think Usman Tariq really bowled well, which was like Namibia could not find any clue of his bowling, which was again expected. And for India, I think Shivam Dube was brilliant in his batting, and I think he's the brightest spot in Indian team today. Varun, as usual, was clinical with his bowling, and if I look at some of the very good performances from Netherlands in bits and patches, they batted really well. Almost everyone came up with some sort of contribution came up from everyone, and Aryan from Netherlands, he was the main bowler for them who actually showed that Netherlands bowling lineup is also, extremely.
Yeah. So we will move to India's performances, and we will discuss about where they should improve in Super 8, and many other points that we want to discuss. Let's focus on the first match, and I think South Africa were quite clinical. They chased 123 in 13.2 overs, and all of their batters. So Markram is continuing his form, and Rickleton also played really well. Brevis scored a 36. They were not dependent on a particular batter. They are performing as a team, which is means there are some ominous signs for India, and they have to strategize against this team, because this team is one to beat. And I think that's why the Super 8 clash will be quite interesting, and we look
There are
forward to that.
there are some more few points regarding
Yeah.
India versus South Africa, which I would be mentioning. So today South Africa tested their bench strength, bowling bench strength. They did not play in Giddy. They did not play Maharaj. So rather, they went with Mafaka, and they also played Nokia today. So I think in the Super 8 match versus India, they will again get back to their normal playing 11. They will again get back to Ngidi, and they will also play Maharaj. I think a few points before we move to India's performance. I think a few things that we can discuss from Pakistan versus Namibia today. So some few interesting things have happened. So first and foremost, they did not play Abrar today, and also they did not play Shaheen today.
Shaheen
And
Afridi.
instead they have gone with one extra batsman, Khwaja Nafe, and also they have played Salman Mirza. Now, there will be some questions raised
mm,
that whether they will be going with the same 11 or not, whether it's a
mm,
sustainable thing or not, because we will also discuss their fixtures, like
mm,
who they are going to face where. But
mm,
before that, I think we can answer some of the questions regarding India versus South Africa, which the game
mm,
is going to be played at Ahmedabad, the same venue where India has played today.
mm,
And already South Africa has played two games in Ahmedabad this tournament. They have played against Afghanistan and also they have played
mm,
against New Zealand. In one
mm,
match, they were almost getting defeated by Afghanistan and they pulled off, kind of a thriller. We had double super overs. We all discussed about that match.
mm,
They pulled off the victory at the last moment. And New Zealand, they won very comfortably. Aiden Markram,
mm.
as you have mentioned, is in one of his most brilliant forms. I think he also was extremely, extremely dangerous against New Zealand. And I think he is one such batsman against whom India should be very, very concerned about.
Yeah, yeah. And I think their top three is quite lethal. And India, and obviously their middle order is also great, and their finishing is quite great. And their finishers saved the match against Afghanistan by hitting important sixes. So that would be an interesting match. But another, we will move to India's team and how they are doing, and also the three matches that they will play in Super 8. We will discuss about them. But one interesting thing I observed in Pakistan's strategy today, they pushed Babar Azam back
Yes,
in the batting order,
yes.
and I think that's not random. That's a way their management is saying that we will not use the same template that we have been using till now, and we are flexible, and we want to have those power hitters rather than Babar. But I don't understand one thing. If you really think that Babar is not suitable in that particular position, and he's not, there's no space for him on top, then why to play him in the team?
Mm,
Rather, you could play somebody else. The way I think Pakistan should use Babar is as an anchor, because we have seen in this tournament that there are many difficult tracks, and but Babar is not playing that role. That's the issue. I think somehow Babar is under that pressure that he has to maintain that strike rate, and then he's going for those slog sweeps, and those shots generally doesn't play, and that is leading to the downfall of Babar. But management is somehow has identified that and taking strong calls. But what's your thoughts on this? The Babar situation in Pakistan's strategy and their campaign, how it is fitting into their campaign.
There was a moment in the match when it was showed that Salman Ali Agha in the dugout was extremely
Hmm.
unhappy with a few decisions, and there was a heated discussion between Salman Ali Agha and Mike Hassan, their coach. So I think there is a possibility that the fact that they did not go for Babar today at all. And Nafe was the number four, and once Nafe was dismissed, I think Shadab came after
Shadab.
at number five. So that is, and at that point of time, there was a very heated discussion between the captain and the coach of the team. I think there are some difference of opinions. If I am not very wrong, Salman Ali Agha was not favoring the decision, or he was not having the same opinion with the coach that at number four we should be sending Nafe, and at number five we should be sending Shadab. He was, I think, in favor of going with the general order of batting, and I think Hassan was having the plan of you know, uh, he did not feel that the time at which Salman was dismissed. I think he felt that at that point, if I, if I continue with Babar, I think he will again waste a few balls, and the acceleration at which or the pace at which the innings is going, it will be kind of compromised. So what happens is, yes, these things are, real concerns because You cannot have an order where you are having a batsman who cannot, bat at every moment. So what happens is, what if today at 15th over, maybe Nafe gets dismissed. After that, Shadab also gets dismissed. After that, maybe whoever, okay, it might have been Usman or Fahim. Then till when we would have pushed Babar. So that's a real thing. So you have one batsman in the entire lineup who you are saying that can't play once you have crossed age to 10 overs or 11 overs. You're having a middle order batsman in the entire lineup like that. Is that a scientific thing to do? Number one. Number two is, there are still some questions which are very, very, they should be figuring out. Now, number one is definitely, Babar Azam issue. What should be done? If Babar Azam is going to be dropped, then will be naturally going with Khwaja Nafi at number four. Usman Khan will come at number five. I think at six, they will go with Shadab. But again, is Shadab a proper number six batsman?
Hmm.
You are entering your number six with a bowling all rounder. Just look at the entire batting lineup after that. Shadab bowling all rounder, Nawaz bowling all rounder, Fahim Ashraf, he is also a bowling all rounder. None of them is a batting all rounder. Okay, they are having only
Hmm.
one or two batting all rounders. I think you can call Saim and Aga batting all rounders. Other than that, these guys are all bowling all rounders. Do you
Hmm.
actually need these many bowling all rounders? So whether you are going playing extra bowling options, because last day against India we saw that they were having too many confusion, and confusion was about when to go, when to Tariq, when to what to do if Abrar gets, today they have not played Abrar, but will they do
Hmm.
follow the same thing in the Super 8? Are they planning to go to the Super 8 without one of their, mystery spinners who have otherwise been very successful than that
Hmm.
one match against India? And also, he is currently the number two bowler in the ICC T20 rankings. Will they go without
Hmm.
them? Now, the fact that they have had a very huge victory against Namibia. If they make any
Hmm.
changes in the next match, it will be a brave call, because you are changing
Hmm.
your winning combination. But does that winning combination is going to work against New Zealand? Now they are going to play New Zealand at Colombo, the same ground where they
Hmm.
played India. Premadasa. And also they will be playing Sri Lanka in Kandy and England in Kandy. And
Hmm.
Kandy is the same ground where Sri Lanka has defeated Australia, where you know the spinners are not getting that much of help.
Hmm.
So they are playing so many spinners, and Kandy is again one pitch where it has not yet shown that much of grip and turn. So whether it will work. So
Hmm.
these are some of the questions that they would have to answer.
And I think in Super 8 and in big tournaments, you also need big tournament players. For example,
Absolutely,
Shaheen and Abrar,
absolutely.
they are big tournament players. You should bring them back. And if you're not sure with Babar's role, then you should have dropped him in place of say Shaheen or Abrar. And Shaheen also is a decent batter, so he can decent lower order batter. So you
Mm,
could always use him as your bowling all rounder. But Babar, if think they should play Babar at three at least if they're playing Babar in the team. He could tell him clearly that you will play this anchoring role that we need from you. You do not have to think about the strike rate. You just rotate strikes and other players will play around you. So that's the role. They should clarify it to him. That communication is needed, I think, and that's what is missing. I think there is, as you mentioned, there is a coach camp and there is a captain camp,
Captain
and
Can.
there is some kind of clash between those two camps.
What is the problem if Babar comes at number three? If Babar comes at number three, Salman Ali Agha
Hmm.
goes to number four. Okay,
Hmm.
that is something naturally
Hmm.
going to happen. Salman Ali Agha is a very curious case. His strike
Hmm.
rate when he is playing at number three is around 150 to 160. That's his
Hmm.
strike rate when he plays at number 3. When he goes down to
Hmm.
number 4, it drops down to 112.
Drops down. Then he becomes Babar. The lower
So the
he comes
problem
to
will stay. So if not Babar, it will be Salman Ali Aga who will be,
Salman Ali.
consuming balls. So yeah, I think they have a lot of questions to answer. They have,
Hmm.
as we discussed in the previous, in their squad analysis, they had only one thing which is standing out from other teams, that is their spin attack. Even their fast bowling
Uh,
attack has also not clicked that much.
yeah.
So that is one thing, that is only one plus point or one X factor that they are coming with. Now, if
Hmm.
at grounds like Kandy, if
Hmm.
that factor also gets nullified, then I think
Hmm.
they will be having massive problems. Even against
Hmm.
New Zealand in Pramadasa, where we saw that
Hmm.
Indian players, they managed the spin through those ones and twos. If Ravindra, Phillips, Mitchell, who is again a very good
Hmm.
player of spin, so these three players, if they started milking the spinners for these singles and doubles, I think it will be a very tough game for Pakistan also.
And you are quite right that they have only thing that is going for them is their spinners
Spin attack.
and the performances from their spinners. Today
Eh,
also their spinners strangled the chase. Shadab with 3 wickets and I think Tariq took four. So
correct.
they together took 7 wickets, and that's a serious momentum that they have going forward to Super 8. And they, I think they as a pair, and if they also bring in, say, Abrar, that
Mm,
trio will be quite dangerous against any team. Even New Zealand, their strength is, I think, obviously opening pair, but as you mentioned, their main strength is their middle order
middle order.
batters. So if these spinners, if they can take wickets in the middle, that will be a win for them.
Mm.
At least at that phase.
Also, one thing that has worked for them is Farhan. Now, Farhan also,
Yeah.
we saw that he has a problem when, fast bowlers are, being on the hard leg, especially
Hmm.
on, bigger grounds like Premadasa or something. Now, again, New Zealand also have good pacers like
Hmm.
Henry Duffy. They will definitely test Farhan in the beginning with, with all the hard deliveries and short of leg deliveries. That is one thing which again Farhan also has to be careful about.
Yeah. So let's move to the last game, and India won by 17 runs. I think India could have won by more runs. They were trying out few of their part-time bowlers. They were looking at few of their players. But this game, I think, demands a deeper conversation, and we will do that. Good thing that has happened is in all these matches, someone or the other has stepped up and saved the match for us. But the negative point of that is that those performances somehow masked over the bad performances from a few of the key players, and we will talk about that now. Let's start with Abhishek Sharma. I think 3 ducks in this tournament, 5 ducks in this year. It's a matter of concern, and I think he's a champion batter. That's why we are talking about him, and he's key for our campaign this time, because without him, I think it will be really hard for India to get over the line in this tournament. He has not opened his account in this tournament, so that's quite surprising, but it has happened. Obviously, he has been through an injury and through an illness, and that must have affected that. Today also I saw he dropped a slip catch, and what was quite visible is how he reacted. From there, you could see that he's not in a good headspace, and I think somebody has to talk to him and has to tell him that please don't take too much pressure. You take some time. You don't have to play your shots from the get go. Ishan is playing quite well, so take a single and give it to Ishan, and Ishan can take it over, because Ishan is also playing really well, unbelievably well. So you don't have to take everything on you, and don't let your ego come on the way. So we will talk about Abhishek, but there are few more concerns. I think some of the key players, for example, Tilak Verma, he's not in his fluent best. And that's a matter of concern. Why? Because we have two explosive openers, and there's always a chance that they can get out, and then Tilak will come and Surya will come. So they have to continue that momentum. And why last year or so we have performed so well in T20s is because most of the times Abhishek Sharma or Sanju Samson or one of the top three has played great innings, and that has saved us. That has saved the middle order players. That has given middle order players some time to settle down and play their shots. So we will talk about that. That number three position is quite important. And again, Tilak Verma is also coming back from an injury, and whether that is impacting his game also. Another thing is I'm not seeing too many. Obviously, Barun is an wicket-taking option. Bumrah is an wicket-taking option. But I'm not seeing as a group India is in that wicket-taking form. And remember those tournaments that we lost, say in semi-final or in any of the key matches, we lacked that wicket-taking ability, and we will discuss there whether we should always have Kuldeep in the team, because Kuldeep is an attacking option and he can go for runs, but he will also give you key wickets. So we will also discuss that. So mainly these three. First, Abhishek's form and Abhishek's case, then Tilak Verma's case, and also we will talk a bit about the bowling, the wicketing ability, and the because Netherlands were also really close. I agree that India tried too many things in today's match, but still I could see some issues there. So we will discuss about that also. So let's start with Abhishek Sharma, and then we will move to Tilak, and then we will move to the bowlers.
So sometimes what happens, I don't know what's going to happen in the upcoming rounds and knockouts and everything. So if India by any chance, fails to win this World Cup, and if Abhishek's failure is one of the reasons, then I think one of the most historical blunder decisions will be to play him against Pakistan. I was dead against this one thing repeatedly. In fact, we repeatedly discussed that if Abhishek is not 100% fit, play Sanju. Sanju didn't play, extremely bad in that match against Namibia. He went out for a uh, very wrong shot. All given and taken, he started it in a very explosive fashion, but never play your best player, even your best player, even if he is 75% to 80% fit, if he is not 100% fit. He was just after getting hospitalized, and then the disease was diarrhea, where you generally lose fluids, you lose your body mass. He is someone, is not a bulky guy. He's a lean fellow who generally generates his power from his the long lever muscles that he plays with. So if he has lost a few kilos, maybe with 2 to 3 kilos because of the disease that he had, he should never have played that one match against Pakistan. Now what has happened against Pakistan, I'm telling you. So one thing was prescribed by Dale Steyn before, the starting of the World Cup, that if you want to restrict Abhishek, take the piss off and bowl to, as close to his body as possible on hard lengths, and don't give him that extra room that he looks for when he's about to hit. But you will have to first and foremost, but we will have to take the pace off first and foremost. He was out for a, slower delivery in the first match. He was out against an off spinner in the second match. He was out against an off spinner even today. I will not be surprised if against South Africa, Markram opens. Okay. So it can be a very big possibility that South Africa will open with Markram just to take that one wicket, because this has happened twice back to back. Because when you are exposed to an off spinner, and if you're not getting a room, you need something or the other to score runs. He was looking to score runs. He cannot He cannot tolerate the fact that he is consuming balls, he is going for dots. That creates
Hmm.
a mental pressure and he is giving up his wicket. That has happened back to back twice now. Now, if this is
Hmm.
a pattern, then I think it's a matter of concern now.
Hmm.
Abhishek is a champion batsman. He needs
Hmm.
some mentoring right now and he needs,
Hmm.
severe attention right now. I don't know who is the closest person to him in the dressing room. If possible, bring out Yuvraj Singh and do something. Otherwise, this
Hmm.
one concern can actually stink India in the upcoming rounds.
And I think teams would safely start with an offie because both our openers are lefty,
Left.
left-handers, and that would give them that assurance that even against Ishan, even if you look at Ishan also, he's more comfortable against fast pace bowlers. Means he, at least in power play,
If
it's
he
a
is having one concern against one type of bowler, then that is an off spinner
bowler
as
is
of
a
now.
off spinner. So teams will start with an off spinner. That's for sure. 100% sure. Both these batters, they have to now start thinking about their strategies how to counter this because uh, they know that will be the strategy that most of the teams will use against them. But I think it's mostly to do with the injury that he had, and now if you are getting out, you have not opened your account till now. That can create a lot of problems for you if you are talking about the headspace of a player. So that's there for sure. But I think one good innings and he's back and we are back.
Yes, yes.
That's what I want to say, because although we are winning, I think we are not at our leave alone best. We are not at our even 70%. So we have to think about that. Let's move to Tilak also, because Tilak is, I think, like Abhishek, Tilak is also another player who is key for our campaign,
Back
and
from
he's
injury.
not looking that back from injury, and he's not looking that great because he's not fluent. He's playing one or two shots, but he's not somehow I think he's not at his fluent best, and he's not playing even like 60% of what he is. So both these players, I think they should clear their headspace and focus on how they can play better in Super 8s, because in Super 8s, you will not have any easy match. Even against Zimbabwe, the kind of spirited fights that Zimbabwe are showing, I'm thinking that they are more dangerous than West Indies and South Africa. The kind of momentum that they have now and the kind of headspace they are in, their headspace are means here, and
Mhm.
our skills are here, but our headspace is here now, I think. And we have to think about that, how can we address that concern. We can move to another concern that we have, and I will just slip in few stats for us to discuss. Washington Sundar, 4 overs, 36 runs, 0 wickets. Hardik Pandya, 3 overs, 40 runs, no wickets
One
again.
wicket.
Shivam,
One wicket.
1 wicket. Shivam Dubey, 2 wickets, but went for a lot of runs. Then the issue is we are solely dependent on Varun first. Even for wickets, we are mostly now looking at Varun. Bumrah is there. Bumrah will come good, and we know that. But we are looking at Varun and Bumrah for breakthroughs,
Mm,
and that's an issue. Even
mm,
Akshar Patel is there, but we are not sure whether to what extent that's a potent option. Okay, we can always have Akshar to stop runs or to have good length bowling and choke a particular opponent, but that will not stop the opponent from playing shots, because the moment you take 1 wicket or two, that creates a lot of issue for opponent, and then they stop playing their shots. That's what pressure is, and that's how teams operate. So what can we do here in terms of, say, team combination and our approach, so that we can address this concern? Kuldeep is one option that we can look at. And if we bring in Kuldeep, then we have to sit out Ashdev. I think if it's a bowling friendly pitch and pace bowling friendly pitch, even to some extent also, then you should play Ashdev. So there are some questions that need answers to. So let's discuss on India's bowling and the concerns that we have, right?
Yeah. So let's see where India is going to play their Super 8 matches. Against South Africa, they're going to play in Ahmedabad. Against Zimbabwe, they're going to play in Chennai. Against West Indies, they're going to play in Kolkata. So all the three grounds, if there is not, a very exceptional help for spinners, and it's more of a it is having everything for both seamers and swing bowlers, and also it's good for batting mostly. Now against South Africa in Ahmedabad, after whatever he has done in the Pakistan game, I'm talking about Kuldeep. He has not done exceptionally well in that match. He took one wicket, but by that time the things were already taken care of. And if we are considering Ahmedabad and Kolkata, none of the pitches are having that of an assistance for a spinner like Kuldeep. So mostly I am not saying Kuldeep coming into the side as long as India is playing in India. So I think they will be going with Arshdeep, and so Arshdeep, and what they will do in the next matches, that I am having an idea about. They will open with Arshdeep and Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya in opening is a very wicket is a wicket taking option. So what happened today is Hardik Pandya was brought very late. So he did not find the swing that he does, and also those hard length balls always gives Hardik Pandya wickets. Also in Pakistan, we saw that he took an early wicket of Sahibzada Farhan in that match. Whenever Hardik Pandya opens, he generally picks up wickets. That's a normal thing. So I think what they are going to do is they are going to change the orders. Hardik and Pandya will be bowling, will be starting off the proceedings, and in the power play, they will be having Akshar, Varun, Bumrah as the other three options. Bumrah will bowl mostly in the middle over span. Today, I think we cannot judge a lot because today Bumrah, Varun, Arshdeep, none of them bowled their quota of 4 overs. Had they bowled, maybe they would have been able to take the wickets. But yes, there is one concern that I must say in the bowling lineup. That is, if Varun doesn't strike, sometimes the bowling lineup looks a little clueless about how to, generate wickets. But that can only happen when Varun strikes. So otherwise, sometimes Indian bowling lineup has a tendency to let the partnerships grow. They need a
Hmm.
partnership breaker and momentum breaker in some way or the other. That person might be Shivam. Now, that's the reason they have let Shivam bolt so many overs today. They were checking
Hmm.
that whether Shivam has that ability to be that momentum breaker or the partnership breaker. Now, I don't know whether it will work or not. This is one such question that India will have to answer, that if there is a partnership growing before the partnership turns too lethal to control, because after this round you will face you know brilliant batting lineups every game. At least against South Africa, you are going to face a very, very, very dangerous batting line. So you just can't let partnerships grow in that one match. The same thing is applicable for Zimbabwe. Same thing is applicable for West Indies as well.
Hmm.
So they will have to figure out how, and now the batsmen will come prepared. Today also we saw that Netherlands batsmen, they were not that bad. So every batsman, they chipped in, they played some of their shots. Yes, the total was too high and they started slow, because of which finally, since the asking rate was too high, they could not manage a win. But if the total was not that high, maybe if India was restricted by 165 or 170, then this also would have been a huge reason to worry. So, yeah.
All right. I think still few unanswered questions, and there are a few concerns that need some strategic interventions from the top management and some interventions to uh, clear up the headspace of some of the key players. And I think this is where tournaments change, right? Not when you win easily, not when the scoreboard flatters you, but when you start asking these uncomfortable questions after even a win. India won tonight, and three ducks at the top, not just a stat, it is pressure building, and that we can see and that we discussed in today's video. A middle order still not at their fluent best, and that's again another concern that we discussed, and we think going forward we would see better performance and more fluent performance from them. Right now, I think India is still the best team, and they are powerful, and but they have to tighten some of the screws. They have to actually address some of the concerns, and I think that's where we will get to those stages and those levels where we will perform like champions. So with that note, let's wrap up this video that we have in Deep Point. We really thank all of you who are still watching and who are still supporting. We have crossed 200 subscribers, and that numbers of subscribers are growing, and we can see the kind of support you are providing through your likes, through your comments, and we encourage you to do that in our upcoming videos also. We are moving into Super 8. The matches will be much more competitive. There will be a lot of excitement. There will be a lot of ups and downs, and we will try to capture all that in our videos. So thank you. Thank you so much for watching. See all of you in the next one.
Thank you.